Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Cody. Cody is from Los Angeles, but he lives in Mexico. So let's see what Cody has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Cody. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No problem.
So, tell me, how's your morning going so far?
I just woke up, so it's fine.
So, how was your last night, your Saturday night?
It was fine. I had two birthday parties, so I was out till 4 in the morning. So
Wow.
yeah.
So, tell me, what was the highlights of your night last night?
The tacos at the birthday parties were pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't. I'm in Mexico. I don't speak Spanish, so I can't talk to anybody. So I usually just sit there on my phone. But the tacos were pretty good.
And where's about in Mexico you're
Yeah.
based right now?
I'm in Durango, Mexico, which is about 10 hours north of Mexico City if you're driving.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's about a two and a half from Tijuana,
Okay.
so it's in the middle. So no one speaks English here. Yeah, it's a thing.
And you are staying there because of the birthday party.
No, I live here now.
Oh, you're living there right now.
Correct.
Ah, interesting. And why Mexico? Why the change to Mexico?
My roommate who brought me down, my business partner, he brought me down in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, I never actually left the country besides going to Hawaii or the Caribbean. So it was a
Yeah.
new adventure for me. And he started coming down for many years, and he just fell in love with the place. And he's like, "Do you want to come down with me?" And I was like, "Sure." So me being, you know, probably an ignorant American, I thought, "Oh, everybody speaks English because they want to be in America, so it's fine." So we were at the Tijuana airport, and I was at a Carl's Jr. And I tried to order food, and no one spoke English, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in deep, deep trouble because if no one speaks English in Tijuana, no one's going to speak English where I'm going." Which was correct. No one spoke English here, so but I came down for about 2 weeks, and I just fell in love with the culture and the people, and the Mexican food is not bad at all. And I just started coming down more often. And the next time I came, we traveled down to south of Mexico, to Chiapas, which is like on the border of Guatemala, which is like a
Right.
whole new experience as well. And like more like the people down there are more indigenous, so they're a lot darker than they are here. But that was a whole new experience, and that was great. And then don't get the pizza there though, because the pizza is terrible. Um, just stick with Mexican food. Just stick with Mexican food. And then I came down another 2 or 3 months later, and my friend took me in his car, and we drove down to Mexico City, and we drove down to Guanajuato, and I got to experience more of Mexico, and I just fell in love with the culture and the people, and the women are not bad at all. And yeah, we started a supplement company here, so we have our own line of like proteins and creatines and pre-workouts. Um, and I was still working in LA and living in LA. And in LA, I'm a stage manager, assistant director,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still doing that. Um, and then slowly, the unions went on strike, and everybody was out of work for 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And then they came back, but there was still no work. And companies started leaving California to go to other states because of tax incentives, and the streaming bubble kind of blew up a little bit. Like I think a lot of companies gave a lot of money into, let's build up our streaming platform on these new TV shows and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realized, hey, we don't have to make new shows. We'll just rerun Friends or rerun Seinfeld, and more people will watch that than these new shows. So why spend all this money on new shows? So they really cut back on that. And then my business kind of died. And
Mm,
I started getting less and less work, and my friends started getting less and less work. And I just came to the realization that maybe LA's not the best place for me right now. And we last June here we opened up a supplement store with a cafe. So we started doing that. And then I just started doing all the social media and the posts and answering people's questions and et cetera for that. Um, so that just kind of made me realize that maybe I need to just be down here. Um, so yeah, so towards the end of last year, I started making preparations to move down here, and last month I finally did it. So I put all my stuff into storage. Yeah, yeah. So LA kind of shut down, and we started our own supplement company here. So we do our own proteins, creatines, pre-workouts. I was doing all the social media for that, and videos and photos, because I've been in the film industry for 16 years. So I'm like, why do I need to pay someone for a job that I can do, because I'm doing that anyway. So I started doing that. That took off, and then we got an opportunity last June to open up our own supplement store,
okay.
right next to the biggest gym in this city. So we opened up our own supplement store with a cafe so that people can come in and get like protein drinks and snacks and cookies and whatever before or after the gym. So they just come over before or after the gym. So I'm doing all the social media for that. So every time we
Amazing.
get inventory, anytime people message me for questions, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? That's my life right now. So I was kind of transitioning to that. Plus, my girlfriend lives here. We've been dating for 2 years. Um, so it just gradually became, work dried up in LA. I don't really need to be there anymore. LA is very expensive. Mexico is very cheap. Why do I really have to be there, right? So this past fall, I was making the decision to come down here full time.
I see.
Um, I had Yeah, I had work in December in LA, so I got through that. And then I just came to the realization that I need to just start a new life in Mexico. And
I see.
it's not necessarily a goodbye forever, it's a goodbye for now, right? So I still have my friends there, I still have my car in LA, I still have other things. But there's no sense in paying. I mean, what was I paying? $1,700 in rent a month for a room when I wasn't there. I mean, I'm there for 2 weeks every 3 months, basically. So it's like, whoa, what is that? You know what I mean? I can couch surf from my friend's house for free. You know what I mean? So I put
Amazing.
everything into storage, and then I moved here full time 2 weeks ago. I've been here full time 2 weeks. I mean, it feels like I've been here full time anyway, because, like I said, I'm here 2 or 3 months, and then I go back for 2 weeks, and then I'm back for 2 or 3 months. So it's not like I'm not here, right? I have a bunch of friends here. My girlfriend's here. My businesses are here. I have a car here. I got a full time apartment here. So it's not like there's nothing here, right?
Amazing.
So that was the you know that's my life over the past year.
Amazing.
So yeah,
Amazing. Okay, Cody. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your point of views. Okay?
sure.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of
Uh,
views?
okay, I'll try my best.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend full of random fun questions. Okay? I'm just gonna play a
Okay,
song for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
okay, okay, okay.
Just let's do it. Right. So before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to answer, always can change. Okay.
Okay.
First question is, what's the best compliment have you ever received?
What's the best compliment I've ever received? Um, wow. Okay. Um, I think I think loyalty. Like what comes to mind is like one of my best friends in LA, his fiance died during COVID, and she was a nurse, and she was, a hero to a lot of people because of that. And she went into the hospital, and he texted me, and he's like, "Hey," her name was Tina. "Hey, Tina's in the hospital." I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, everybody goes into the hospital, whatever." So I texted her, and I was like, "You'll be fine, whatever." And then about 5 hours later, he texted me about 10:30 at night, and he said, "Tina died. I'm going to the hospital to see her."
Oh
That was
my
it.
God.
And I was like, "What?" And I'm freaking out. And I live about 20 minutes from him. So I'm like, "I'm coming over." And he's like, "No, don't come over." He's like, "I was at the hospital. I have COVID. Don't come over. Like, I don't want to expose you." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't. No, it's fine." So I came over, and he's like, and I get there, and he's there, and he's like, "Don't get close to me." I was like, "I don't care." So I just like gave him a big hug, and like we
Wow.
cried, and it was a thing. And for the next 30 days, I went to his house, probably 40 days. I went to his house every day just to be with
Wow.
him. And he had COVID for the first 10 days of that. And he was like, "Don't get too close to me." And my mom was like, "Don't get too close." And I'm like, "Listen, you know, if I die because of COVID, because he gave it to me, at least I know I did right by my friend." Because like my friend is dying inside because he lost his fiance. It's like,
Wow.
and a lot of his friends were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't come see you because you have COVID." And I'm like, "No, like I I think of it like, if I was in that situation, what would I want someone to do?
Yeah.
And not necessarily they would do that, but that's how I try to look at life, right? It's like, and it doesn't always work out because it's like people are selfish and they're not like me, right? So, but that's how I looked at it. I was like, if I was going through this, what would I want him or someone else to do, right? Um, and if I got COVID and I died, um, at least I know I did right by my friend. So
Wow.
that was the way I looked at it, right? So I would say, and we're closer than her, and I'm keeping my things at his house so I don't have to pay a storage unit fee. And it's like I'm going on a cruise with him and his new fiance in September. Um,
Wow.
so I would say loyalty more than anything else. Yeah.
Wow. What his name, Cody?
Steven.
Okay, so Steven is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send him a message. What would you say?
I love you, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. And thank you for being my friend. And the funny thing with him is I met him in 2008. I moved out to LA, and I was very overweight. And I joined a gym, and he was a personal trainer at that gym, and that's how we became friends, because he started training me at the gym, and we just became close, and we started going out to eat together and doing all these things, and now he's like my best friend in LA. So
Wow.
yeah, he's very loyal as well. Like,
Huh?
he's whenever I'm going through a bad thing, or I can always, I can always count on him. I can always call him. I can always go see him. He's always down to do stuff. He's always down to eat. Um, his fiance is the same way. Luckily, his new fiance, it's like she's very like, "Yeah, let's go eat." She's not like protective of him. It's not like it has to be you and me. So,
Uh-huh.
I appreciate both of them, really.
It's great. Beautiful story. I think I love this story, Cody, and I totally agree with you. I think when you love someone, when you care about someone, just regardless, you just see the person in front of you, just want to be with them, you just support them. I know it was
Yeah.
a challenging time, like regarding COVID. However, I think if my best friend would be the same situation, trust me, I'll do the same as you. I wouldn't even think
Right.
twice. I would just jump there, you know what I mean, and be by his side. I think that's what
Right.
friendship. So you just make it somehow. As you said, I would love my best friend to do the same for me as well. So I would
Right.
instinctively, I'll just run. I'll just jump there. You know what? I'm here. Doesn't matter. I am here for you. I think that's
Correct.
the love the story. Amazing.
Right.
Next question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Do you like dancing?
Yeah, I'm not very
Yeah.
good at it, but yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry. In a few more like months in Mexico, you're gonna be like, oh my god, yes, I love dancing.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Right. Next question is: what is something you always wanted to do but you're scared of?
I always want to do, but I'm scared of. I would love to travel alone
Okay.
and do some traveling by myself. I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily know where I'd want to do that, but I like experience things with people that I know. You know what I mean? So it's like I guess it's like a double-edged sword where it's like, oh, I would love to travel, but alone. Um, but I'm not I'm not really like sociable with people that I don't know. And I
Right.
don't yeah, like if I'm at a party and I don't know anyone, I'm gonna be in the corner on my phone. Not to like be rude. I just like I don't have any desire to talk to people that I don't know. Once I get to know you, I'll open up, right? I'll be like, I'll talk, I'll whatever. But I'm just not wired that way. And it's like some people are, and that's like I'm envious of that. I wish I could just go into a room and talk to everybody and be sociable and whatever. I just can't do it. I'm just like whatever. And here in Mexico, it's even worse because it's like I can't talk to anybody. So it's like I'll just be on my phone and I'm like, "Hola, mucho gusto." Okay, that's it, and that's what it is. But yeah, I would love to travel alone. I don't necessarily know where I want to go. I want to like I want to travel to Japan. I want to go to Thailand. Um, I got a good friend who's from Egypt, so I'd love to go to Egypt. Um, but yeah, maybe traveling alone somewhere. I want to go South America. My roommate is from Argentina. He has a house down there, so I'd love to go there. He has an apartment in Colombia, so I would love to go there. But like, I can't really do those things alone because I don't speak the language. So like, somewhere, I guess in Europe or somewhere where they speak more English probably would be better. Australia, New Zealand. I'd love to do like the Lord of the Rings tour in New Zealand. That would be great. Um, so yeah,
When you think about yourself, Cody, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Cody?
I guess a lot of people need attention and they need like to be the center focus of a room or they get invited to everything and they have to go to things and it's just like that's not me. Um sorry.
Okay.
Jesus. Okay. Um, I don't mind like I have no problem saying no. Like, hey, I don't want to do that. Or
Right.
and it's not like personal. Um, my last roommate in LA took a lot of things too personally. Like you interviewed him, Joe Silver.
Yeah.
Um, um, he just took a lot of things too personally. Like, hey, do you want to come sit on the couch and watch a movie? It's like, no, I want to be in my room alone. Like, I like being alone. I'm an only child. I've been alone forever. I moved out to LA 16 years ago alone. Um, I like being in my room and being alone. And it's not like it's not it has nothing to do with them, right? It's
No.
not like I don't like you guys or whatever. It's just like I'm doing what's best for me at that
Absolutely.
moment, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah. So, so I don't mind. I don't have a problem like, hey, I'm going to a party. You want to go? No, I'm fine. Hey, I'm going to this club. You want to go? No, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. Like, I've never felt the need to like cater to people,
I see.
and it's not personal. It's not like I don't like you. It's not like I don't want to hang out with you. It's just I don't like doing that type of thing. So, and like clubs and stuff, I was never, and bars, like I don't drink. I've never drank ever. I have no desire. I've tried a couple drinks, but I've never found anything that I like to drink, and it's like I don't like the taste. So it's like in LA, I never went to bars, I never went to clubs. Here I go more often because I try to be a little bit more social, and I have more friends here than I have in LA, which is funny because I can't really talk to anybody. So it is what it is. Um, and the girls in the clubs aren't that bad either. So I do like going there. But again, it's like, I just stand there. I can't talk to anybody. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. So it's not like, it's like, oh, it's 4 a.m. and I'm tired. I'm going to do some drugs to wake me up. That's not a thing. So it's just like I suck it up and bear it. Um, but yeah,
Amazing.
hope that
Cool.
answered it. Yeah.
Next question. Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Next question.
Okay.
Before the next question, Cody, tell me where you're from originally
New York originally.
and why LA?
Um, so in seventh grade, I wasn't always great in school. I had a couple learning disabilities. Um, I never took Spanish, which is killing me right now because I wish I did, but I was exempt because I had some learning disabilities. So in seventh grade social studies, the big project was, oh, you can write an essay or you can make a collage or whatever. And my teacher said, you can make a movie. And I was like, oh, a movie. So I got my camcorder and I got a bunch of friends and um, we did Washington crossing the Delaware River, which he did in 1776, I guess, 1775. And I played Barbara Walters. So I dressed up as a girl, I dressed up as Barbara Walters, and I did a 2020. I don't know if you have, I don't know if you had 2020 over there. You're in England, right?
No,
Where are you?
yes,
Okay.
England. I'm in
It
London.
was, it was, yeah, it was like a news like at night where they do news stories. It was like a Barbara Walters is very famous and she was on The View and all these things. So I played Barbara Walters and I went back into a time machine to meet George Washington and to cross the river. So I made this whole movie and I didn't have any editing software, so I had to make the movie in chronological order in the camcorder. So I had to start with whatever, and then my friend played George Washington, and we did a bunch of scenes. And it was March, and I had a above ground pool, and me and my friends jumped in. There's this little tube, inner tube, and we tubed across the pool to be like he was crossing the Delaware River, and I got like a 98 on the project or whatever. And I
Wow.
was like, this is awesome. Like I can express myself in a different way. And then the following year, I could do another movie. So I did um during the Civil War they made these two like first armored boats,
Hmm.
and they had like a fight in Pennsylvania or whatever like that. So me and my dad built these two boats out of plaster Paris and blah blah blah, and we were going down to Florida to visit my cousins for the holidays, and they had an indoor pool. So we shipped these boats down to Florida, and I made a stop motion movie with my cousin helped me, and we did these boats in the water and they were shooting and I added some special effects and blah blah blah. And I just fell in love with film. And luckily my high school had a film class. So I did every class. I filmed every sporting event. I filmed every musical. Um, I filmed individual people's photos like, hey, I'm going to college for volleyball. Can you make me a video of me playing volleyball and I can send it to them? Sure. And like they paid me $100 and I was like, that's great. Um, but so I just fell in love with filmmaking, and it was another way to express myself. And ultimately I went to college. I went to Emerson College in Boston, And then after 4 years, I moved out to LA. I didn't even, why LA? Because growing up, I always thought you had to be in LA. That's where movies are made, Hollywood, that's where I need to be. I didn't even visit LA once. I literally packed up my bags and I just flew to LA. And I didn't know if I was going to like it. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have nothing. So that was my dedication to that. Was I just knew that's where I needed to go. And luckily, my parents, I am an only child, and my parents were very, protective of me. And like I called them every day, and like I still call my mom every day. Like we talk 2 or 3 times on FaceTime every day because, oh, I have
Great.
5 minutes to spare. I'll just call my mom because whatever.
Oh,
Um, so like, they dropped me off at college, and they literally thought, oh, he's gonna call us in the next 2 hours to come pick him up because I didn't know anyone in college, and I was from a small town, a small beach town on Long Island in New York, and
hmm.
there was no fast food restaurants. There was one movie theater and one bowling alley, which is now closed. There was like nothing to do. There was no like. I was 3 hours from New York City, so it's not like I can go there all the time and experience a big city. So
Yeah.
going to a college and going to a big city in Boston alone, my parents were like, "Oh, he's going to call us and he's going to come pick us up." And the 2 hours went by and I didn't call, and 3 hours went by and I didn't call, and they went back home. And 4 years later, I moved out to LA, and they were never like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go, you can't leave us, you have to stay, blah blah blah. They were very very always supportive, and my mom still is. My dad died 7 years ago, um but she still is, and it's like, that's what I appreciate. So why LA? Because that's where I thought movies were made and TV was made.
Wow.
And yeah.
Okay, I love the story. That's amazing. And being the only child, I understand your point. I'm not. I have a sister, but I understand. I have some
Yeah.
friends. They are a child, and I understand this bond. And the parents, they go like, "They're not gonna go too far. They're gonna just gonna go. They're gonna travel. They're gonna come
Right.
back again."
Which is
It's not.
like,
I see. Okay.
yeah.
Next question is, what makes
Okay.
you really angry?
You know what? I did not be angry at all
Hmm.
because it just increases stress, and I don't let things get to me personally, and I don't let little things bother me like it might bother other people. I'm very like go with the flow, right? It's like if someone wants to do something, I'll just do it with you. It's fine, even though I don't maybe really want to do it. Or just like, yeah, if someone disrespects me or like doesn't appreciate my work, I'll get a little, maybe not angry, maybe defensive a little bit, maybe.
Hmm.
I don't really love confrontations, and I don't try to get into that. So I guess I'm more of a, you know, easygoing. Yeah, we'll just let's not rock the boat. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I don't really try to get angry at all.
I like that. I like your point of view. Two questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Cody, before the next question, as you worked, part of the entertainment business in LA,
Hmm.
um, tell me three names that for you always being an inspiration, always being, someone that you always had eyed on, that for you always being part of your, life. Three names.
Well, Steven Spielberg won because he also lived in my town, so he was a big inspiration for me. Um, and he made some of my favorite movies. Like I have a Jaws tattoo because I love Jaws, and I have a T-Rex tattoo here, and I have another one on my arm. Um, yeah, it's funny because like Jurassic Park was the first movie I remember seeing in the theaters with my mom and dad.
Wow.
And like during the kitchen scene, I ran out because I was like 7. I was so scared. Uh, and then Jurassic World, the first Jurassic World was the last movie I saw with my parents together before my dad died in the movies. So
Nice.
that those two have a really like important connection with me.
Okay.
And yeah, so and then he lived in my hometown.
Hmm.
So that was always an always inspiration. I haven't met him personally, but that was an always inspiration. Um, and then I wouldn't say I wouldn't say in entertainment, but another one is my favorite. I'm into bodybuilding and going to the gym and stuff. So my favorite bodybuilder is Jay Cutler, and I have his signature on my arm actually. And it's funny because like he's won Mr. Olympia 4 times, and he's like a big name in the industry, and he has 5 million followers on Instagram, and he has his own supplement line and everything like that. And I met him in 2010 for the first time,
Right.
and he was at like a signing at a supplement store. So I drove like 30 minutes to meet him, and he was really nice, and it was what it was. Then I met him again. LA has a LA Fit Expo every year, and 2 weeks later he was there, and I met him again, and he remembered who I was, and I was like, how is this like? I'm literally no one. I'm like 170 pounds. I'm literally no one. How do you remember me? And that just really like struck a chord with me, that I was like, oh, he cares about people.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the years he would go to different things, and I was always come see him, and we became friends, and he follows me on Instagram, and I have his phone number, and we talk, and I try to go see him every time, every time I can, and he always gives like his line. I just saw him 2 weeks ago at the LA Fit Expo again, and his line is like an hour and a half, 2 hours always. But he knows me, so I go up to the front, and he sees me, and he weighs me in, and he asks how I'm doing, and he signs anything I have. So like for the store, I had him sign a bunch of photos, and he has a shoe line, and I had him sign a bunch of things for the store. And he always gives me, you know, more than enough time. Like he's always over generous with me. And there's no real I'm no one. I mean really realistically I'm no one compared to him, right? I'm not I don't compete. I'm just a normal dude, right? But
Right.
he always takes the time to make it extra special, and I appreciate that. And he follows me on Instagram. He looks at my posts. If I'm at the gym, he says I look great, and it's just extra motivation. It's like he doesn't have to do any of that. Like he's a multimillionaire. He's a Mr. Olympia. He's very very famous. He does not need to do any of that, and he does. So that gives me that's really motivating for me to have someone like that in my corner, to
Mm-hmm.
just back me up, and that's really special.
And the third person?
Probably my roommate here, my roommate Diego, who I started a couple companies with. Um, he's very entrepreneurial, and he's been through a lot in his life, and um, he's very business savvy, and I'm not very business savvy. So he's okay. So he's very business savvy. I'm not very business savvy. So I try to learn everything I can from him and absorb a- any anything I can. Um, and he growing up, he had a tough life, and he made something of himself. And he started a couple companies, and he's made $1 million, and then he lost $1 million, and he was poor, and he's been through the whole spectrum, right? So he's been very inspirational to me, and he's brought me under his wing like his little brother, and I really appreciate that. And it's like I wouldn't have any of this without him. I wouldn't have come to Mexico without him. I wouldn't have met anybody without him, because I can't speak the language. So he always introduces me. He's like, this is my friend. He doesn't speak Spanish. um I wouldn't have met my girlfriend without him. So it's with him I would be very lost right now, because I would be in LA still, and I don't really know what I would be doing in LA if I was in
Okay.
LA. Um, so yeah, those
Amazing.
three.
Okay. My question for you is, one day I think it's gonna be easy for you. One day you're gonna wake up in the morning and you have 3 missed calls on your phone from those 3 people just mentioned right now. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message, say I call you back later, and which one you go like, you don't send a message, you don't call, you just go like, okay, I can talk to him another time. Tell me.
Well, obviously Steven Spielberg, I would call right away because I haven't talked to him, and that would be the best. Um, and then, well, I mean, I live with my roommate. I live
That's the
with
thing.
Diego, so
Yeah.
I'll just see him later. It's like I'll just open up my door and be like, "What do you want?" Um, and then probably number two would be Jay Cutler, obviously. But yeah, that's yeah, that's an easy one.
I knew be easy for you.
Yeah,
Okay. Next question is: would you rather be invisible or be able to fly? And what should you do?
invisible or be able to fly. Oh God, invisible would get me into a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. uh,
Why? Why? What would you do if you be invisible?
oh
Where the first?
God, I can't even talk about that. YouTube would censor me.
Okay, so it's only
Uh, I don't know. Flying would be cool because then I don't have to get in an airplane ever again. I can just be whatever the hell I want to be, right? And then if I'm in a bad situation, I can just fly away. But then the same thing with invisibility. You can just be invisible and you don't have to worry about anything either. So, um, I don't know. If I'm invisible, then I can probably like sneak onto a private plane, right? And then I can get a private plane service and I can go wherever I
sticky,
want. So
sticky.
maybe invisibility I would choose. Yeah.
Amazing. Last question. Ready?
Okay.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, tell me what Mexico has taught you so far.
Um, I get asked this a lot here in Mexico, like what's the difference between US and Mexico? And the US, I feel like it's a lot of what can you do for me? And in Mexico, it's a lot of what can I or what can we as a family or a culture can do for you? And that's been really important. And it's like I don't have to be accepted here. I'm an outsider. I don't speak the language, but everyone has accepted me. And it's been really incredible that they have because it's like again, it's like yeah, I can, I can film things, I can edit things, I can that's really all I bring to the table realistically. So like if, someone has a club or whatever, I can do promotions for them, make videos, I can do all these things. That's really all I can, like offer. I can't talk to you like yeah, I can talk a little bit, but I can't have deep conversations. I have to use translator all the time. So I don't really bring anything to the table. And I feel like everybody here is always like, "Yeah, come in. We're welcome." I mean, I went to two parties last night. I didn't know anybody. I've never seen these people in my life, and they accepted me. I
Amazing.
sat down. They gave me tacos right away. They just offered me tacos. It's like that doesn't happen in you
Amazing.
just randomly show up at someone's house in the U.S. and like they give me food. No, like you'll get shot because the U.S. is insane. Um, so so yeah, that's a big that's probably the biggest difference realistically is it's very family oriented here. It's like you and I was talking to this with my girlfriend. It's like my mom is 74 and at some point it's like what do I have to do with her, right? Unless she like drops dead. It's like I got to put her in a nursing home or I have to what? And I don't want to put her in a nursing home. And I've told her that. Like she's in Florida, I'm in Mexico. I'm not putting you into a nursing home. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know who you're with. I don't know who's taking care of you. I'm bringing you down to Mexico. Like I will get up. I've got a 24-hour nurse. That's I mean, labor in Mexico is super cheap, right? So I can get a 24-hour nurse, absolutely nothing. And I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and you know, it's like, yeah, she can come live with us. No problem. There was no hesitation. There was no like, oh, I want to, I don't think she should live with us or whatever. There was no hesitation. And it would be the same thing. Like, if her mom wants to live with us, that's fine. Like, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like, my, my grandma lived with us. My ex-girlfriend, her mom lived with us for many years. Like, none of that bothers me at all. I don't mind it. Um, so that was the big thing. It was like, oh yeah, she can live with us. That's not a problem. So it's very family oriented here, which is nice.
It's, int- it's
And
interesting saying.
honestly, it's also like being an only child. I didn't grow up with a big family, right? It was like me, my mom, my dad. my grandma lived like 5 minutes away, so I got to see her. I had cousins, but they lived in Florida and they lived upstate New York. So I never had a big family gathering. I never had a big family anything. My dad worked nights, so by 5 o'clock he would go to bed. So it's like dinner would be me and my mom. Like I didn't
Wow.
have. So here it's like I'll go to, oh, it's my girlfriend's cousin's birthday, and we go and there's 50 people there, 60 people, and it's like, oh, this is like I can't talk to anybody, but this is nice to be around a group of people, a group of family. I don't know, it's just different, right? And I like that different aspect of it because I've never had it before. So it's important to me. I feel like it's important to me that it's like I've never had this before, and I appreciate it. That's they've accepted me, and yeah, I have this big family. So and they
I
love me. The family loves me, which is great. Obviously,
I
yeah.
understand that. I understand your point. I'm originally from Brazil, and back in Brazil, we have this thing where we can feed three people, can feed five. Where two people can
Mm,
sleep, can find a way to sleep four. So
right.
it's for normal. I understand your point because for us it's like
Yeah.
normal. When I have friends going to Brazil, and when they came back, they go like, "My God, William, I went to the grocery store to buy something, and I became friends. Like I was talking to someone that we felt like I knew him for so long, and that's
Right.
the different connections, different approach. So I understand your point for
And
sure.
the US is totally different than that. It's like a different animal. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, it's nice.
Basic. Right. Last question is: tell me what's the best first date you ever been on?
Um, I wouldn't say it was like a first date because it was my girlfriend right now because I kind of knew her. I met her on Christmas. So I call her my Christmas present, basically.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
sweet.
but about a week and a half later, she was in Mazatlan, which is the beach area with some friends, and they left her, and she was like stranded there. And she said, "Hey, do you want to take a bus and come meet me?" And I was like, "Sure." So I jumped on the bus by myself in Mexico, and
Wow.
I got on this bus 3 hours to the beach, and I met her at the hotel. And for the next 3 days, it was just me and her, and it was a great time. And we just we couldn't. My Spanish was even less than it is now, which is not great. She knows she's going to school now for English, so that's great. So she can learn a little bit. But back then she knew nothing.
Wow.
But it was just me and her at the beach, and we would walk the beach, and we would go eat, and have a lot of relations, and it
Look
was
your eyes.
good.
Look your eyes.
And can't deny that.
You don't need to speak the same. You don't speak the same. They speak the same language to understand each other at this time.
No. Well, so I'm 39 and she's 24. So let's put it that way. It's a good time. It's a good time for me. I don't know about her, but it's a good time for me. Um, yeah. So that was probably like my favorite 3 days. Like I wouldn't call it like a first date, but it was really like we got to know each other. We got to connect on a human level more than like, oh, I saw her at a club and then we went out for a restaurant with a bunch of her friends and my friends. There was no like one-on-one interaction. So that was like the first really one-on-one interaction with her, and it was 3 days, and we slept in, we walked the beach, we did whatever we wanted, and that was probably the highlight of a first date. Or really, like, thinking back, like those are just a great 3 days that I've
Wow.
had. That was like there was no worries. I wasn't really thinking about everything else. I was really in the moment with her, and I felt like
Amazing.
she was in the moment with me. And then 5 days later, I asked her to be my girlfriend, which surprised her.
Oh my God!
And
I thought to say after 5 days I proposed her to marry me.
no, no, no. Well, my parents got engaged after 7 days, so it's possible.
Oh my,
Um,
that's
yeah,
amazing. Oh
I
wow.
told I told them they were desperate because my dad was 35 and my mom was 34 at the time, and I was like, "You guys were just desperate. No one else wanted you." So my dad proposed. Um,
But in a different
but
way,
yeah,
they knew what they wanted. That's why they knew exactly what they
yeah,
wanted, so they just match it.
yeah. And they were married for 32 years before my dad died, so it wasn't like, they didn't
Beautiful.
get a divorce or anything like that. So that worked out really well. So
Wow.
yeah,
Great. I can see your girlfriend smiling right now after this beautiful story just shared right
yeah,
now.
it was
Sweet.
nice.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words and one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
One word for money.
Wish. I wish I had some money.
Fear.
Beer?
Fear.
Oh, fear. Fear. Fight?
Family.
Everything?
Love.
In one word. Love? Love. I'm going to say love back. Because love is love, man.
Life.
Live.
Sex.
Favorite.
Religion.
Nothing.
Okay. Friendship.
Everything.
Politics.
Insane.
Desire.
Lust.
Regret.
Shame.
Success.
Future.
Wish.
Granted.
Happiness.
Striving.
One word for the entertainment business.
Insane.
Okay, I like that. One word for LA.
Grand.
One word for USA.
Insane.
And the last one now, Mexico, one word.
Happiness.
Amazing. If I would meet your girlfriend right now for a coffee and I would ask her, define Cody in one positive and one negative word only, what she would say in Spanish, okay? I'm just joking.
Bothersome, probably, because I bother her too much.
Positive?
Positive. In one word.
Yep.
I guess happy.
Okay.
I want to say I want her to say that I make her happy, but yeah, I guess happy. Sure.
And if I would ask the same question to your mom, what would be her answer?
Love.
Positive and negative.
Reckless.
Let's play now, Cody, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Right, but before you asking the question, tell me your favorite Spanish word so far, something that you've learned that somehow stick in your ears.
No mames.
Say again?
No mames.
Which means?
No way.
Ah, interesting.
Which you can use it in everything possible.
That's interesting because...
So you're like, no mames, no mames.
No mames. It's funny because,
no mames, mames, M-A-M-E-S, mames.
Mames. Yeah. It's interesting because, Spanish and Portuguese very similar, but this is new for me. I never heard this Spanish word before. Interesting. Yeah,
they also use one here. It's called GPI, which is like thanks for the invite in US. So it's like, so if someone's like, hey, I'm at tacos, you're right, GPI, as like a joke, like, thanks for the invite, whatever. I don't know. My vocabulary is very short, very low, very,
You get there.
So I'm getting there.
Yeah, living there, I think the best way for you to learn a language is being in the country.
Yeah, like I can order food, I can get in a taxi, like I can do those things. I just can't do deep conversations. So, I can survive barely, but yeah, I'm surviving.
Can you ask me a question now, Cody?
Yeah, so what made you want to do this interview series? Because I think this is really interesting where you interview I was watching your Insta stories about all the different people that you were interviewing, whatever. I think it's really interesting that um it's different backgrounds of different people, right? Like I didn't really know what to expect when you asked me to do this. I didn't
Uh-huh.
know if it was like because you interviewed my roommate Joe Silver, who's a porn
Yeah.
star. So I didn't know if it was like porn
No.
centric or like gay centric or I didn't really know what it was. So I was like, why are you interviewing me? Because I don't do any of that. But
Right.
then like watching your videos and watching your stories and stuff, I was like, oh, you're like I saw an interview from a guy from South Africa. I think you did an interview with. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's really cool that you're bringing people together from all walks of life, from all around
Yeah.
the world, and
Yeah.
you're finding out their stories and YouTube is great that it connects
Yeah.
the world, right? Like imagine 20 years ago none of this was possible, so it's pretty amazing. So
Amazing.
what made you want to do this?
That's amazing. Thanks for the question, Cody. I'll tell you something. I think I'm glad you mentioned as well about that. The impression that you had first, based in one, how we got connected.
Yeah.
Um, the show, it's about you have the opportunity to be yourself, to express the way you are without any judgments. Yeah, here you can actually, the Magic Box has been all every continent in the world. I have done over 1,300 interviews on the show,
Amazing.
and from people all over the globe, people with different backgrounds, people with different point of views, people expressing, people crying, people laughing, people get emotional, people sending message. It's been a great journey. I couldn't tell you so many stories of people connect with each other as well. People in Australia
Yeah.
connect with people from the US. People already started making business together because they saw each other's interviews. And when I received those messages, I was like, my God, how it's great. I feel the greatest. Right. So the show started in a very interesting way. Before the COVID, I was already thinking to do something on YouTube where I could express myself, but I didn't know what I could do because, as you know, there are so many creative people around the globe, and people, they're so creative. When I see things online, I'm like, my God, how they can come up with those stories. And I was thinking, what can I do to be myself, to express the way I am, and connect with people as well. And I didn't know what I could do. Here in England, during the COVID, when COVID hits, you could leave the house once a day for exercise, like for the park, for a run,
Right.
you could do that. And I was doing that. So I was going for a run every afternoon. I was going for a run, for an hour run. And this idea came along. I remember the moments. I remember the exactly place where I was, because I even stopped for a minute. I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to create some questions. I'm going to research some questions, and I'm going to invite people around the world to see their point of
Right.
views. Saying that, I, when I look back, people who know me, they go like, "My God, Will, you were doing that already." As a teenager back in school, I remember, I after the show, I started to remember, like, asking
Mm.
my colleagues, "Who was your favorite teacher? What have you done last summer?" It's same kind of
Mm.
interaction. So it's about people. The show, Cody, it's about people express themselves, and that's how it started. That's everything started. However, when I started doing the show, I didn't have this idea. I didn't know that how the show could go, which direction would go.
Right.
Because for me, I thought in my mind was, okay, I'm gonna invite someone, we're gonna have interaction here. That's it. For me, we stop there. But the show has been going such different, um, directions that it warms my heart every single day. I could be here 24 hours just sitting
Hmm.
here with people, Cody,
I feel like you
because
could. I get that vibe from you. Yeah, for
I
sure.
trust me, it's the
Yeah.
best. You're just having the best of me right now. Literally,
Yeah.
you're having the best of me, because
Yeah.
when I'm sitting here, it's the best William you can get, because I
Right.
feel the greatest here. I just remember I'm recording when I look here on the side, because I feel like I'm talking to a friend. I'm talking to you. I feel like I've known you for years,
Right.
because
I agree.
you know what I mean. There's something here
Yes.
at the moment. So that's how the show started, literally through a run in the park.
I think I think what you're doing is very special. Like not everybody could do that, right? It's kind of therapy-ish, right? Where it's like you're meeting someone that you don't really know or never met before and you're telling them, secrets or whatever, you know what I mean? But you make this space very comfortable for people. There's like I feel like there's no judgment from you, which is important
Oh,
for people to expressing that. You know what I mean? Um, so I think it's really great that what you're doing. I think
thank
it's you know, and your enthusiasm shows. Like you're
you.
enthusiastic about this, and that I think that helps
100%.
people, that helps people express themselves, right? And you're being the real William, right? So people feel like, oh, I can be the real Cody, or I could be the real John, or whatever, and you don't have to, you know, even though this is
Totally.
going out to millions of people maybe that are going to see this, it's like it doesn't feel like that. It feels very one-on-one, right? So it's like I can
Exactly.
divulge things, or he can divulge things that he's never divulged before, because you make it very comfortable and easy for them. So I think you're doing a
Thanks.
really great job, so
Thanks,
congratulations, man.
thanks again, Cody. And I
Yeah,
think it's the whole show is always about the questions, about the format of the show, is about the interaction we have. Everything makes people comfortable here, and that's what makes me. That's what I understood after doing the show. Because in the
right.
beginning, I just was here being myself. You know what I mean? And that's how it started. When I look my first,
And it's like not a lot of people can do what you do, right? It's like not everybody can be sociable. Like I feel like you put out a certain energy that not a lot of people have. So, you know, good for you for doing this, for figuring out what you're good at, or what you love, or what your passion is, and channeling that towards this, right? That can help other people. It's not like, it's not even about, yeah, it's like it's the best William and you can express yourself, but it's about everybody else too. It's like it's helping
totally,
other people as well. Or maybe not even people you're interviewing, it's helping people watching this, and it's like, oh, I
totally,
saw this interview and that really connected with me because that was me. I didn't really know how to express that, but this
totally.
person did, and it wouldn't have happened without you. So,
Thank
congratulations. I think you're doing a really great job.
Thank you so much, Cody. Thanks so
Yeah.
much. And coming from someone like you that's been in this business for quite a while and understand that,
Yeah.
I take as a very good compliment. So thanks so much for that. Thanks
No
for taking.
problem. Thank you.
I got goosebumps now. My God,
Oh,
just
good. I'm happy.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. I know you are busy, a busy man, and I'm so glad that we connected during this time of your life, because you are literally in a country where you are just yourself to the new journey, the new life, and it's
Yes.
amazing to someone and I can tell, because as you know, I'm from Brazil, and start a new life in a different country, different language. It can be tough, but trust me, it's
Yes.
the best thing you are doing right now, because
Thank
you
you. I feel like that as well. Yes.
absolutely it's gonna go for it's not easy, as you can tell already. It's not
It's
easy
not.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
you are literally out of your comfort zone, and that's the best place to be. That's the best
Right.
place to be, out of your comfort zone. So thanks
Well, hopefully
again.
we can do this. We can do this again in 5 years, and I can give you a good
Yes,
update, man.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna be directly the magic box behind. You're gonna be the big boss of the
Maybe I'll do the
magic.
Spanish version or whatever. Yeah.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by in Spanish.
In Spanish. Oh no.
Okay, I'm joking.
Uh, what's a positive message? Be yourself. I think a lot of people give up themselves for other people, or you know, they want this person to like them, or whatever, and they lose a part of themselves. And so what I would say is be yourself. If people don't like that, who gives a like
Yeah,
them? Um, you have to do. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do you, right? You
yeah,
have to, you know, you try to go through life and not hurt other people's feelings, but at the same time that might take away from you, right? So I wouldn't say deliberately hurt someone's feelings,
no,
but if it's detrimental to yourself and your mental health and everything like that, it's like you have to step back and you have to do what's best for you. And some people might call that selfish or whatever. Fine, whatever, call it selfish. But it's for me. It's not against you. It's not, oh, I don't like you, or whatever. It's this is what's best for me in this moment in time. And I think a lot of people lose that because they want to be liked and they want to have a connection to people. And it's like I feel like a lot of people lose that. So what I would say
yeah,
is don't lose yourself, because you know, if you lose yourself, you can't help other people, and you can't be authentic to yourself, and you're not going to be happy. Ultimately, in life, you're not going to be happy because you're always striving for something, or you're always striving for other people's acceptance or whatever. and you have to be happy with yourself first before you
Totally.
find any of that. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it's hard. It's harder to do than say, right? It's easy to say it,
I know, I
but
know.
it's harder to walk that walk. But take it day by day, take it minute by
Yeah,
minute. It's like, hey, hey, I want to do this, go do it. Hey, I don't want to do this, don't do it. You know, like
I agree.
that's the
And I think,
yeah,
when you already know that, it's already halfway of the journey. You know what I mean? If you already
correct.
of that, so I think that's a good way. Thanks so much. Have a great
All
day.
right, thanks.
Take
Have a
care.
great day. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.